Hello everybody. Today we're going to be reviewing division strategies. So one thing to keep in mind as we're doing this is to remember that division is the inverse operation of multiplication, which means they're connected. So if you know your multiplication facts, those will help you with your division facts. Okay? So third grade, we started off with the basics in division this year. So I've got 48 divided by 6 up here, and what you want to be thinking about with division is taking a number and breaking it into equal groups. So in this case, we're looking at 48 items or 48 things, and we want to divide them into 6 equal groups. So one way we can go about solving this is to make 6 equal groups. This takes you back to circles and stars at the beginning of the year. And then what you can do is you can just count out 48 dots into those 6 groups equally to find out how many dots end up in each group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. Okay? And then to determine the quotient, the answer to your division problem, you want to look at how many dots ended up in each group. So if I count how many dots are in each group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I get 8 dots in each group. So my answer is 8 because I have 6 equal groups with 8 in each group for a total of 48 items. Okay, so this is a great strategy. It's a good beginning one. It works, but it gets a little cumbersome, like a little difficult. You've got a lot of dots. It's easy to miscount or to miss a group. So it's not the most efficient strategy, but it's certainly a strategy that works. Another way you could go about it is to think of it as its reverse, as its inverse operation, and think 6 times what equals 48? Because we know that multiplication and division are related, right? So we could skip count by 6s until we get to 48 and find out how many times it takes us to count by 6. So let's do that. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. So now I've counted by 6s to 48, and this was pretty efficient if you're fluent with your skip counting. If you're not fluent with your skip counting, it's less efficient, but it still works. So now I just count how many times I counted by 6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And so therefore, our missing portion is 8, which gives us our answer of 8. So those are the 2 main strategies we talked about in 3rd grade this year for dividing, either making out those equal groups or using some skip counting strategies or using what you know about multiplication. 4th graders, we went on to something a little bit more challenging, and we did multi-digit division. So we had something like 256 divided by 4. Okay, and one way, the first way we started looking at it was setting it up on a place value chart. So we made a hundreds, tens, and ones chart. We showed our 256 on our chart, and then we made 4 equal portions down here on the bottom to be able to group. So here's our 4 equal groups that we're trying to divide them into, right? So what we did is we started with the hundreds, and I don't have enough hundreds, so I'm going to turn those into tens. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 10 tens for each of those hundreds. Now I've got lots of tens I can dole out into those 4 equal groups. So I know that I can put 5 in each group because I see that right here. 1 group of 5, 1 group of 5, another group of 5, and another group of 5. Just trying to make this a little more efficient. Now I'm going to go by ones. This one goes in this group, this one in this group, this one in this group, and this one in this group. I have 1 left over. That has to get turned into some ones. So I'm going to make these into some ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I get 10 ones for 110, right? And now I can take all those ones and put them into 4 equal groups. I'm going to go by 3s. So I'm going to put 3 and 3 and 3, and 3. I've got 4 left. Ooh, how nice. I've got 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. This means I have no remainder. If I had 1 left over here, I'd want to circle that and put an R, or if I had 2 left over or 3, just to remember the remainder, because some of you, when you're working on your window panes, are forgetting to list your remainder. Our quotient is found by looking across the row. So I have 3 6/10s and 4 1s for 64 as my quotient. Okay? A reminder, it's always a great idea to check. So if I do 64 times 4, there's that reminder of multiplication and division are related. So if you take your quotient and multiply it by your divisor, you should end up with your dividend. So 64 times 4, I know 4 times 4 is 16. I know 60 times 4 is 240. When I add those together, sure enough, I get 256, which was my original number that I was dividing by, or that I was dividing up. Okay, so that was one way. It works, but it's a lot of writing, lots of dots, lots of opportunities for errors, miscountings, forgetting one, and it's not very efficient. So let's go and look at a more efficient strategy. 256 divided by 4. So we'll do the same one. And our more efficient strategy we talked about was using our area model and partial quotients. So we set up an area model here. We're dividing by 4. And you want to think about, okay, out of 256, what can I divide by 4? That's a nice large number that's equally divisible by 4. So if I think about this, I know 100 is nice and easily divisible by 4. This is not always the case. I see a lot of you trying to automatically go to 100. You have to make sure it's actually divisible by your number. Remember, make sure it's divisible by your number. I know 100 is divisible by 4 because I know 4 quarters makes $1, so 4 25s makes 100. While I've taken care of 100, I can do another 100, right? So I'll do that on my area model as well. Remembering to label, right? Our quotients go right here at the top, and that's going to come in key later. Now I've taken care of 200. I have 56 left. Now, a lot of you would write 50, but 50 is not evenly divisible by 4. I want you to think of numbers that you know are divisible by 4. I would automatically go to 40. I know 40 is nice and divisible by 4, so I'm going to make that another chunk. And I know 40 divided by 4 is 10, so I'm sticking that at the top. Now I've taken care of 240. I have 16 left. And since I know my 4 facts, I know that 16 is also divisible by 4. So the only thing I'm going to do is fix my area model to be a little bit more accurate because that chunk doesn't need to be quite so big. And this is going to be a 16 chunk, and I know that's going to end up with 4 there. So if you look, what we've done is we've really done partial quotients. We've said, okay, I'm going to take my 256 and I'm going to break it up into 100, 100, 40, and 16. And divide each of those parts by 4, which I've labeled across the top of my area model. Okay? To find your total quotient, you are going to add all those pink numbers up at the top, or all of these answers here. If you choose to write multiplication problems down here, guys, you are not going to find your answer at the end. You're going to find your answer in the middle. So pay attention. Think about what you're doing and whether what you put down as your answer makes sense. So if I add all those numbers up, 25 plus 25 is 50. Another 10 is 60. 4, and I get 64, which is exactly what I had gotten up at the top as well. Much more efficient, a lot quicker, and a lot less room for error. So today you're going to go ahead, practice some division problems, remind yourself how to go about doing it. Use whatever strategy feels good to you, but pick the most efficient strategy you can do accurately. Good luck, have fun, let me know if you need any help.